issues come earlier, you know, perhaps that third quarter run that they went?
You called it. You know, that third quarter got us again. Not getting stops, missed a lot of shots early on that I think it led to run-outs and leak-outs, a couple chippies at the rim. I think the fight was there, just to stay in that when it wasn't going our way offensively. But again, we got to keep finishing possessions out was a big key. You know, them having 24 second chance points, 13 offensive rebounds. Those are small margins in a game that's close.
The ball on the inbound pass hit the rim before anyone could touch it. What was supposed to happen there? How often does Paolo inbound the ball when you practice?
We've worked on that. We've worked on that a ton. It's supposed to be right at the rim of .5, and he put it right at the rim, and then Orlando Robinson walks under Wendell Carter Jr. as it's happening. So you can do one of two things. You can say it hit the rim and the clock went off, or you can say it should be a foul because you're taking a man out in the air. One of two things.
Kind of going back to that third quarter, what did you see with the fouling specifically? I know Toronto had 35 free throws in the game. I mean, this fouling's been a struggle all year, but what do you have to do to kind of rein that back in, maintain your physicality?
It could get me, but I don't understand. I really don't. I know how physical they are. I know how aggressive they are. I understand how they were grabbing and holding, and then we get the tic-tac fouls. That's where it becomes something that you have to think about, and I don't understand why. Because we were attacking the basket just the same. I mean, I think we were in the lane 31 times. They were there too, but us not getting the whistle, I have to figure it out. And then we got to keep looking at the film and seeing where it is and what is not. Because I don't understand how a team as such shoots 35 free throws, and apparently that the grabbing and the holding up above the lane is okay now, but it's not once you get downhill.
Is there a struggle in adjusting to that whistle? And I know this team has struggled sometimes with some of those balls getting kind of...
Listen, I don't mind the whistle. I really don't. I don't mind the whistle. I just want it to be the same way. I'm okay with the whistle. I like physical. We like aggressive. We like being that way. That's our brand of basketball. It's okay. I just like it being very similar, consistent. That's it.
Do you feel that you guys' reputation as a physical team maybe plays into that at all, or Toronto's reputation for that matter?
Yeah, I don't know what reputation. I'll have to get back to you on that one, because it's a tough call, because I don't know what goes into the thought process behind it. You know, I know we are physical. I know we are aggressive, and if you're watching the game, you're watching it being played both physically on both ends of the floor. I don't mind. We don't mind. We welcome it. I just want it to be consistent and the same. That's it.
With this result and Sunday's, the two games were split by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned those small margins. Just how frustrating is it that we've kind of talked about that throughout the year, that this is still happening?
It's got to be continued. We have to continue to learn. We've got to continue to find out what those small margins are. And in these games right now, it happens to be 13 offensive rebounds. It does happen to be the free throw count for 35 to 23. It happens to be that. Those are the little small margins within the game that are extra possessions that give them 24 second chance points and us 15. Those are the small margins within a game, because we turn them over 20 times for 17 points. So our defense is, we're being physical, we're being aggressive, we're doing the right things in certain areas, but can we do it differently without fouling? And can we keep attacking the basket the way we have and get to the line?
Jamal, what did you see in your team's defensive execution on the three by Lawson late and then on the three by Walter late? Was that just a case where they made
some tough shots? You got to look at it. The communication was there. I mean, Tristan did everything but foul on that last one. It was a step back, triple, travel, three from the top of the key. He heaved it up there.
After last game, Paolo, and I'm paraphrasing here, seemed to indicate that he wanted the ball in his hands more. What did you see from him down the stretch in tonight's game with the ball in his hands?
I think he was in attack mode. I think he made some plays down the stretch. I think he 8 assists. He found guys as they were showing and attacking him early, made big shots, made big plays down the stretch. I think those are things that we're going to have to keep finding ways to put the ball in his hands, make plays continue to make the right decision, and I think those are just small pieces of it. But again, the margin for error for us, I think that's a big key for us.
Kind of building off of that, where does, you guys were down late in that fourth quarter for a second straight game, where does it say, and Powell and Franz both helped kind of push this team back in the game, what does it say about them and their fight to try to will this team to that win you guys seem so desperately need?
They're going to keep fighting. We are going to keep fighting. I think that's the spirit of the Orlando Magic. They're going to keep fighting no matter what's happening. Down 10, down 5, down 2, down 20. We'll keep fighting back no matter what's happening within the game. That's who we are. That's who we'll continue to be. And this is a tough stretch right now. It really is. That's the reality of the situation. So you have to look the reality in the face and say, what am I going to do when it gets difficult? And this team has grit, it has toughness, it has focus, it has ability to stay together and do the right thing and come out and play the right way on the next night when we play Chicago.
Thank you. I'll be back with Powell and Franz.
Thank you, guys.
Little patience. Please.
Paolo, I know that's another tough last-second loss, but how much does this one come down to perhaps some of the stretches like the one in the third quarter where we were able to go on, a 22-4 run?
Yeah, I think, just those, when you give those type of runs up, you put yourself in a tough position to come back. And, we were able to come back, but by that time, those guys on the other side have confidence, and so they're playing with a lot of confidence, and, they're making shots, making big plays. And so I think you saw some of their bench guys come in there and just, let it rip, play confident, and put us away.
When you score 41 in a loss like this, how do you control the frustration from boiling over?
I think just staying calm, realizing that still 19 games left, 20 games, something like 19 games left, so just gotta take it one game at a time and try to be better the next game, just as a whole group.
You mentioned the confidence that Toronto gained from that third quarter run, maybe getting to the line and kind of controlling the tempo of that game. How does this team find that level of confidence that Toronto had tonight that this team had back in November, December?
I don't know. I think, we got to do some soul searching, just trying to figure it out. I think the good thing about a time like this is that really the only way you can go is up. So we just got to come together and figure out a way for everybody to, play with that confidence, play with that swag, because right now it doesn't really feel that way.
You guys lost these two Toronto games by combined 3 points. Obviously, the way those results came about were a little bit different, but how do you feel the fine margins are impacting you guys right now in games like these?
I think they're costly for sure. Both games came down to the last shot, and we ended up on the wrong side of both. So, like I said, we got to do some soul searching. We got to try to get it together because we had chances to both of those games, and we came up short.
Paolo, aside from those last several minutes where you had it rolling, were you happy with how the offense was functioning and how it was organized?
I think there were some good moments and there were some bad moments, but it wasn't perfect. There's always room for improvement. I think, like I said, it's really a matter of getting the whole group to really just have that confidence again. I think when you lose, when you start losing, it's easy for guys to kind of lose confidence, stop believing. And so we just all gotta kind of reset and try to start, coming together and winning some of these games.
Does that happen, losing confidence? Does that happen in the locker room, do you feel like, or not at that point?
Well, when you're losing games to, teams at the bottom of your conference, games that you feel like you shouldn't be losing, I'm not saying that is the case. I'm just saying that's what it feels like. Because least I feel like, you know, we shouldn't have lost to this team. You know, they made enough plays to win, but, you know, I think these are two winnable games that we should have had, so we just got to try and turn it around.
For you personally, these last two games, you really came on strong in the fourth quarter. Do you feel like you're regaining or kind of reestablishing the kind of confidence and play that you had before your injury?
No, I mean, I was out there, I'm hoping. I feel good. I would say after my injury, it took me probably a month or two to stop, you know, kind of get past that mental block. And so I would say the last 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, however long it's been, I felt like myself. So, you know, I'm just going out there just playing my hardest.
Paul, you want to say something about the third quarter? Have you found out through reviewing the previous game what's going on? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, those third quarters have been killing us. You know, they've been killing us for the last, I think, 5-6 games, and so we have to find a way to come out the locker room with more energy, more execution, and when things don't go our way, you know, we can't let it snowball. We can't let it compound our mistakes. You know, we gotta try and address it quickly, fix it quickly as a group.
Thank you, Pete. I'll be back with Franz.
Franz, obviously another close last-second loss to this team, but how much does this loss again come back to some of the moments in the third quarter, perhaps, you know, in that stretch where they went on a 20-4 run?
Yeah, a lot of it. You know, third quarter has been a problem for us. Can't really tell you why, honestly, because we've been talking about it a lot, but that's the way it's been, and we gotta, you know, be more consistent, especially defensively.
Just kind of building on that, what do you think was the issue defensively in that third quarter? And I know Toronto got to the line a lot in that quarter specifically. What do you guys need to do to kind of pull yourself out when you hit those walls?
I mean, first of all, they shot way too many free throws. Didn't really go up the 3-point line well. I think they got out in transition and we fouled them a lot in that third, and then they got some offensive rebounds as well.
What did you think of Paolo's play down the stretch, and how does he help you guys in those moments? And do you need to see more of that aggression from him?
I mean, it's unbelievable what he did in the fourth. Down the stretch of the game. I think Paolo's done a good job of being aggressive. You know, every night he sees 2 or 3 defenders, so you know, I think he's doing a really good job of creating offense for us, and obviously we need to continue.
With how much the team has struggled to kind of string together wins, how do you make sure that the guys stay confident, or that you kind of stick with what you know you guys can be?
Yeah, it's obviously not easy. I think we got guys out, but I think we can just, you know, play way below our standard at points in these games. So, you know, I think part of it is, you know, staying together, and then also finding this joy and playing basketball is really good. It's not going your way, and we get to play. So, but it's a thing that we got to fix as a unit, and you know, I think in these moments there's 2 ways to go about it, and it's a good test for us to see, you know, what we're made of.
You mentioned earlier that you guys have been talking a lot about those third quarter runs that you guys have been giving up. Just when you guys look back at those, and I know this one's still fresh tonight, but when you look back at some of those, is there a common theme that's kind of coming out of those that is possibly leading those?
I think focus, energy, other team playing harder, probably getting out in transition, offensive rebounds, creating just easier offense for the other team, and that's when they're gonna run.
Toronto obviously played a lot of kind of their bench guys at the end of the game, but they played with a lot of confidence and kind of swagger. How do you guys get that back? I know you mentioned kind of finding that joy again. How do you find the confidence that you guys had through November, December, and kind of build this team up?
Yeah, I think the only way to go about it is to stick together, be even more together in the game, finding more huddles, talking out mistakes when they happen. And I think also just realizing that, it's part of the journey. It's not always gonna go your way in a game, in a season. So, whether we're playing below expectations or whatever it is, that really doesn't matter. Like once the ball's in the air, so all those things go out the window. And when you get your time out there, it's always cool to play in an NBA game. So I think we shouldn't put our heads down. And like I said, just realize that it's part of it.
Franz, what did you make the overall kind of competitiveness of that game? I know you and RJ were going back and forth. There was a couple of other hard fouls. Both games, there's a lot of physicality.
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely didn't try to hit him in the head. I think these things happen in the game. Hopefully, hopefully that is understood. But I think it's part of the game. Obviously, the way our season's going, where I think we thrive on stuff like that. So I think frustrations and stuff like that are part of it. And I think you got to give Toronto a lot of credit. Everybody that stepped into the game played super physical, really aggressive defensively, and that's what I want to do.
Thanks, Boogie.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. We will see you Thursday.